Today, we're going to talk about why it's important to be diverse when it comes to gender representation within tarot, why we need to be expansive when we work with tarot and with other people. And I'm going to share a little bit about my own practice, and I'm going to pull a couple of cards just for you. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Edgar Fabian Frias, or Edgar Fabian Frias, and today we're going to be talking about gender expansiveness within tarot practices. And I'm going to share about my own practice. I'm going to show you some of the decks that I work with. And at the end, I'm going to pull a card from each one of the decks. This reading is going to be for all of those of you who are watching, who are subscribed to this channel. I really want to thank all of the amazing over 50 people who've subscribed here recently. I now have over 500 subscribers here on YouTube. I'm so grateful to this community. I'm grateful for all of the support. So hit that subscribe button down below, give it a like, share, comment. All of this really helps us get our word out, get our message out, and helps us be seen. So definitely support your local YouTube creator. So today we're going to talk about gender expansiveness, and I want to just kind of open up that word and kind of sit with it. And I'd love to invite you, if you are watching this video, to share, what does gender expansiveness mean for you? I know a lot of folks kind of think of it very differently. For myself, I'm someone who identifies as a liminal being. I'm also non-binary. I see myself as someone who exists beyond the gender dichotomies that this society creates. And there can sometimes be a feeling like gender expansive, or non-binary or trans people are new, but we have existed across all time and space. So if you're a young person who's watching this, or a person of any age who's watching this who is questioning their gender, or feels like the traditional or assigned gender that they've been given doesn't make sense for them, just know that you're not alone. Just know that you are part of a beautiful legacy of people who've existed on this planet in many forms, and we've taken many names, and hi, I'm one of them. Gender expansiveness is vast. It is open, and many cultures have called it by many different names. And there are many indigenous communities, Black communities, there are communities all across the planet who've seen gender in many different ways. Someone I really recommend people looking into is Alok Vaid Menon. They produce the most incredible book reports where they break down how gender has really been conflated with white supremacy, with imperialism, with colonization, and there are many ways that gender has been weaponized against communities. And it's really important to understand that these systems, these extractive systems, really get internalized, and a lot of us end up having these systems within ourselves. And I know for myself, it's been a journey to get to this place of identifying as a non-binary person. I definitely was not raised that way, and it's definitely taken me some time to come to terms with it. I grew up never feeling like I was fully male. I never felt like I was female, but I felt like I was different. And, at that time, I didn't have words for that. And so representation is really important. Being able to be seen, being able to have others who look like you kind of showing up and taking space and existing and being. In my own tarot practice that I have called Our Sacred Web, I offer tarot in different ways. I open up my books every other month, and I do have a newsletter, which I'm going to link down in the description box below. If you're interested in getting a reading with me, I send out a newsletter, and in my newsletter, I share my openings that I have for my practice, I feel really blessed that this last time that I opened up my books, all my readings got booked in less than an hour. So it's definitely first come, first serve, and it's something that goes really fast. And for a limited time, I am offering tarot readings over at Hey Hero. So over at Hey Hero, I'm offering 2-card tarot readings using the Moon Baby Magic Tarot Deck by Angela Mary Magick and the Dreamers Tarot by Marcella Kroll. Both of these are powerful examples of gender expansive tarot decks. So just to summarize, I have a tarot practice where I meet with people for, longer sessions. That's called Our Sacred Web. You can find out more by signing up to my newsletter below. And I also, for a limited time, I'm offering 2-card readings with Hey Hero. And so in all of these different readings that I do, I use tarot decks that are gender expansive. And so I want to just highlight these decks that I use in my practices and share a little bit about why I love them. They're helping really reframe what, the traditional tarot deck has created, which, is a system that is really powerful, but in many ways can have hierarchies or different things embedded within it that can be problematic or not really attuned with what's real or what's here. So the readings that I do with Our Sacred Web are done virtually, and they're longer than the 2-card readings that I'm offering with Hey Hero. And I use 2 different decks. The first one I use here is the Ourchetypes Deck by Megan Whitmarsh and Jade Gordon in Los Angeles. And so something I love about this deck is that it uses a lot of symbolism that is very different than the traditional tarot deck. And there are no really gendered or hierarchical systems within this deck. And it really is a deck that allows you to get really oracular and really get expansive in how you see it and how you interpret what it has in it. And I, don't necessarily know if it was kind of created as a gender expansive or gender queer, because there are some gendered things in this deck. Content note, there is, for example, reference to mother, and there are some sacred femme. I definitely know that Megan Whitmarsh and Jade Gordon are both feminists, and so and they definitely are connected to that legacy and that community. And so that really comes through in this work. But again, I love this deck so much because it is really expansive and really works a lot with symbols that are really non-traditional and not really connected to the tarot deck. And it can really help me as a reader get really oracular and open up to more possibility. Because as a reader, I love to really go with the flow and use the cards as a medium to open up to psychic spaces, to really feel what's there. And I love inviting in people into the readings because everyone is psychic, everyone picks up energy, everyone receives information. And during readings, I get so much out of hearing from the people that I work with because I feel like people really bring in their own divinity and are also being moved by what's coming through in the cards. So the second deck that I use in my traditional Our Sacred Web tarot practice is called the Collective Tarot. This is a big gem of mine. I love this deck. It's really the first deck that I ever started to work with when I first started to work with tarot. So this deck is definitely my baby. I feel like I've done 1,000 readings with this deck. So this deck was created in Portland, Oregon in the early 2000s by a group of queer, transgender, expansive folks who all got together as a collective and created a deck that really has deconstructed and recreated, reclaimed, repurposed the traditional tarot tropes. And what I love is that there are so many people in this deck who are very expansive with gender, and there's definitely a beautiful representation of trans people, of queer people, and there are many animals, and there's even beautiful chimeric beings that show up that really allow us to transcend and be expansive. And they've even kind of moved to recreate the major and minor arcana in different ways. For example, Bones is the earth element in this deck. This is the 4 Bones, which is definitely one of my favorite cards. So hard not to have a favorite card in this deck. There's so many that I love. You know what? This is also one of my favorite cards. The High Priestess. Aren't they divine? The only thing unfortunate about this deck, I would say, is that it is no longer in print. It is very hard to find. I've seen people put up their deck on eBay, and some of them have gone for sale for more than $500 because it is such a limited edition deck. I feel really honored to have this deck and to have known and still know people who are creators of this deck. I love that this deck is connected to my own queer, transgender, expansive communities, and that I was there in Portland during the time that it was being made. I was living in Portland at the time. The good news with the Ourchetypes deck is that this deck is being reprinted, so you are able to actually obtain this deck, and I'm going to look for that link and put it in the description if I can find it. If not, I'm definitely going to be linking Megan Whitmarsh and Jade Gordon in the description so that you could be connected to their art. They're incredible artists, and I highly recommend you see their work. And I'm really hoping that the new deck will be for sale so that if you want to get your own copy of the Ourchetypes deck, you will be able to obtain one. So these next two decks that I'm going to talk about are decks that I'm using for my 2-card readings that I'm doing over at Hey Hero. Again, there is a link to that service in the description box. My traditional tarot practice that I just spoke about is actually closed at this moment. I'm fully booked all the way through March. Thank you so much, wonderful community. So the first deck that I use for the 2-card readings that I'm offering over at Hey Hero is Angela Mary Magick's Moon Baby Magic deck. Oh my goddess. I just want to show you a little sneak peek at the colors. Oh my goddess. The colors of this deck are everything. I love the colors of this deck. So Angela Mary Magick is a dear friend of mine, and she is also a goddess worshiper. And I just want to explain for folks who maybe don't know the term goddess, I want to invite you into the embrace, the beautiful embrace of goddess. Goddess is a gender expansive, gender queer term for our divine higher being, higher power, higher inner power. Goddess is a gender expansive God. Goddess is here to show who they are, and Angela Mary Magick is definitely a goddess worshiper. They, share the good news of the goddess, as many of you do. So if you're a goddess worshiper, let yourself be known in the comments if you're a goddess worshiper. So, of course, with being so divinely gender expansive, Angela Mary Magick has made the most beautiful, look at that, oh my goddess, 2 of Waves union, beautiful gender expansive deck. Oh my goddess. So many incredible animals and symbols, and there are all the lunar cycles here, ritual. Yeah, so again, really breaking free of the mold. So for example, Angela Mary Magick uses Juniper, who's her beautiful little kitty, young little cat. And you can see there's Juniper as the hermit. So working with animals, with expanding beyond what we see as the traditional representations in the tarot deck. One of the many reasons I love this deck. And then look at the colors. Oh my gosh. Doesn't that just really speak to that cave medicine, that hermit magic? I know she was so selective when creating this deck in what colors really were connected to each card. Speaking of goddess, I just need to show you this Empress card. Praise Empress, praise goddess. Isn't that so divine? Sacred femme, sacred them. Yes, and those are other words that we use to really liberate, expand upon, repurpose, reclaim what it means to exist in a body as a human. Human with an X. I love the Empress card. The Empress card is one of my favorites. Again, I have multiple favorites in the Moon Baby Magic Tarot deck. This is one of the decks that I'm using for 2-card readings over at Hey Hero. And the other deck that I'm using is the Dreamers Tarot by Marcella Kroll. And this one specifically was made by Marcella to be very gender expansive. It is the newest deck that I have, and I really feel so blessed to have this. I'm in love with this deck, and this deck sold out almost immediately after Marcella Kroll put it up for sale. And you can see why as I open it. This is a stunning deck. It's just a stunning deck. I know I was gushing over it in my last video, but I just need to gush over it some more. Super prismatic magic, and I love that gradient. Like I said, I'm a gradient queen. And so this deck really, really expands upon the different roles and really dissolves those hierarchies. Looking at the balance being, and all the drawings are made by Marcella. Strength is stunning. So Marcella has done away with many of the traditional names and uses, for example, like Mystic of Swords, Dreamer of Pentacles. I'm using the Dreamers Tarot and the Moon Baby Magic Tarot deck as my 2-card readings that I'm offering right now over at Hey Hero. You can also go on there and ask me anything. I'm very open. For those of you who don't know me that well, I traverse many realms. I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a practicing witch. I'm also a contemporary artist. So feel free to ask me questions about any of those, or ask me anything that you'd love for me to share over a personalized video message for you. So I received some wonderful requests for readings, but just know that I'm also here just to make you a video if you want me to say hello and share some words of care, words of affirmation, or just to say hi in a video form. You can connect with me over there at Hey Hero. Again, I'm linking my Hey Hero profile in the description box below. So let's get started in doing some readings. So I'm going to do a Sacred Elements tarot pool with the 4 different decks that I just showed you. And we're going to start with the Dreamers Tarot, and we're going to pull a card for the month of February 2021 for the element of air, which is our communication, our language, our ability to be expansive, to flow with the wind, to be with the birds, to play with the fairies. So the card that comes up for air is, Divine Shadow. Bless the shadow in all its forms. So your words, your communication, your expansion is bringing the sacred shadow, the sacred darkness into our dimension. The shadow needs integration. It needs to be spoken. It needs to become whole with us. So bless the shadow, speak the shadow, do not hide the shadow, love the shadow. Know that the shadow is here to support us, that it wants our highest good. When we name it, we connect with it. We say hello to it. So say hello to your fears. Bring them in. Speak them out loud. Share them. Know that they are meant to be brought into community and into relationship. Thank you so much, Marcella Kroll, for this incredible deck. I love the Dreamers Tarot. So the next card we're going to pull is from the Moon Baby Magic Tarot deck, and this is for the sacred element of fire, our sacred passion, creativity, our will, our ability to create change, to find that inner power. Thank you, sacred fire. So the card that comes forward for fire is the 3 of Waves. Waves is a water magic. And this card is all about collaboration, coming together. So in February, make your art collaborative, intermingle, work with others, really expand upon what it means for you to be an artist. No matter what kind of art you create, Let it be collaborative. Let it be in communion, in relationship. And this can be with other people, but it could also mean, as, going back a little bit to the last card, bringing other parts of yourself into the practice, into the play, into your creative fire. Thank you, Fire. Thank you, Angela Mary Magick, for this divine deck. I just love this card so much. Three of Waves, collaborate, take a sip. That's something Angela Mary Magick loves to do during her incredible readings over at her YouTube nest. So I'm going to take a sip in honor, and I'm going to have a little bit of this Periwinkle essence from Sun Song. Gonna shake it up a little bit. In celebration of that Waves card, thank you so much, Angela Mary Magick, for this beautiful tradition. Thank you, Sun Song, for this magical Periwinkle essence. So I'm very much a believer that we can feel these energies beyond time and space through these portals that we have here on YouTube. So take a moment and feel that Periwinkle essence as it moves through this space. So the next card I'm going to pull is going to be from the Ourchetypes deck, and this is going to be for water. Water is our emotions, our relationality, our connection to the inner subconscious. So the card that comes up for the sacred element of water is Rainbow Vision. This card is about expanding our awareness, about including the voices of the many. Feel into your beautiful multiplicities. Know that you are able to tap in to so many sources of energy, of so many voices are wanting to come through. The animals, the plants, the ancestors are wanting to share. They are wanting to be in relationship. Your emotions are sacred. They are a part of this tapestry that is being woven through our rainbow vision. We are here to bring in new dimensions of feeling, of subconscious, of connectivity with one another and with all life on earth. Praise our rainbow vision for the infinite possibilities that it expands upon us. Praise water for being fluid, for its memory, its motion, its expansiveness. So I'm going to pull the last card from the Collective Tarot, and this card is going to be for the element of Earth. Earth represents our body, anything in the physical dimension. It is also our ancestors. Earth is our ability to feel connected. Thank you so much to the sacred element of Earth for being here as part of this tarot spell for February 2021. The Death card. Yes. So this has been a difficult time. In this time when I'm making this video, we have lost so many people to the COVID-19 pandemic. This has been a time of massive grieving and loss and transformation. Our ancestors are wanting us to know that they are here through this change, through this powerful transition that we're all moving through. Death is a reminder. It is here to let us know that we are a part of an infinite cycle of energy. Death is a portal. We are moving through that portal, and let this month be a portal for you as well. Know that the physical dimension is transforming. Allow it to transform. Allow it to grow. Allow it to expand. Death is not the end. It is a part of the cycle, a part of the process. It is one of the cards in the tarot deck, and it is a part of the story. Bless you, ancestors, for bringing forward the Death card, and thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this reading and for watching this video and for being a part of this community. Thank you so much, everyone. I have some very exciting videos that I'm going to be making this month, and I'm excited to share them with you. Definitely hit that subscribe button so that you can be a part of the journey and you can see the new videos that I'm going to be uploading very soon. Bye!